A friend said to me the other day, because I said, wow, I've been out of work this year and it's coming up on a year that I've been out of work. And you know what she said to me that was so pivotal and so important is that she said, well, you got to look and see how God has kept you for this year. Because like I said, remember, we tend to focus on just the negative about what we don't have, that we don't even see how much God has kept us. This is Girl Take Note, a podcast for women who are looking to turn their dreams into reality. Hey guys, welcome back to Girl Take Note. I am Shaunie Sanders, and today I'm sharing some valuable career advice for 2024. And of course, it is inspired by my own personal experience with, experiencing a job loss. And I just want to do the continuation of this series of surviving a job loss. And navigating unemployment can be incredibly challenging, but I've learned a few important lessons along the way that I'm excited to share with you today. And I really hope that it can encourage someone. I hope it can really set someone's mind at ease because, like I said, I know what it feels like to lose your job, to be laid off, and to not have that income anymore, and to feel that stress and that anxiety that comes with it. But lesson number one that I learned is that the job title does not define you. It just doesn't. And it's crucial to understand that because we sometimes identify ourselves with our job titles. And so when I first got laid off, I felt lost and unsure of my identity. But I soon realized that my worth isn't tied into a job title. And learning to detach from that job title really helped me rediscover who I truly am and focus on what my strengths and my passions are outside of work, which I believe is so important because I believe we all put ourselves in a place where we get so caught up with the job title. I mean, let's just be honest. The first time we introduce ourselves to someone, you say, hey, I'm Shaunie. This is what I do. I'm a so-and-so, right? That job title is part of our identity. And it's a sense of loss when you don't have it anymore. And what I decided to do is say, you know what? It's okay for me to feel that way. It's okay for me to feel lost and confused about who I am and what am I doing now, right? Because now you lost a job. And I'm going to tell you this too. Imposter syndrome definitely sets in. Imposter syndrome will set in when you lose a job that you absolutely love. Like it was my dream job. I really loved that job. And when I lost it, I felt like, well, maybe I wasn't really just cut out for it or something. That's the reason why I don't have it anymore, because I just wasn't cut out for it. But that's not true. That is so not what it is. And the problem with me was that I was attached to that job title so much. And I looked at that job title as my identity, but it's not, because I get defined who I am to people in this world. I don't want my job title to define me. I don't want my job title to be the reason why someone wants to be friends with me or someone might want to date you or something like that. That's not what we want. And so the first thing I had to learn with coping with this job loss is that I had to detach from that job title. I had to understand that I don't have it anymore, and it's okay that I don't. I'm still a passionate person. I still have multiple passions. I'm still very smart. I'm still educated. I still have everything I need to be successful in this world outside of that job. So I know that it can be difficult to detach from a job title because my generation has been raised to know that, hey, you go to school, you go to college, you work, you find yourself a good job, and that's just what you do, right? But now the rules of what work life looks like has been redefined thanks to like social media, thanks to work home, thanks to entrepreneurship, thanks to side hustle. The roles of what work look like has been redefined. And now I have an opportunity to redefine what my life looks like going forward. And so that's the first lesson I had to learn, is to detach from my job title. The second lesson I think that is important when you're coping with job loss is you have to protect your mental health. And I can't stress this enough because the stress of unemployment can take a toll on your well-being. So it's essential to implement some type of routine that supports your mental health. And what I mean by that is that you have to find activities to help you relax and recharge, whether it's exercising, meditation, or spending time with loved ones, right? Or reading a great book, like cuddle up on your couch and reading a great book. Keeping a routine gives you structure to your day and it helps you stay grounded because once you get laid off, you're so used to a structured day, right? You're used to getting up at a certain time, 6 a.m. in the morning. You're going to work out. You might have some breakfast on your way to work. You're going to get dressed. You're going to get to work. You're going to drive. You're going to do the commute, right? You're going to get to work. You got meetings. So it's a structured day that you're used to having. And when that's gone, the body still gets up at 6 a.m. Like it still gets up. The body still gets up at 6 a.m. because it's used to that routine. And then all of a sudden it's thrown off routine. And so I had to realize that I need to get myself up to be productive. And I think when you're able to be productive, it really does something for your mental health because it's stressful. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to be worried a lot and it's hard on you. It's really hard on your mental health. And so being able to have some type of outlet, being able to say, I'm going to get up every morning, I'm going to work out, I'm going to do a morning type of routine, right? And now I get up in the mornings, I walk first thing in the morning to really kind of help relieve stress from me. Because when I'm outside and I'm walking early in the morning and it's the freshness of the air and it's just me and my headphones on, I'm listening to some inspirational music or I'm listening to an inspirational book or podcast, it really does it inspired me. So the first thing I'm doing is not jumping on social media and looking to see what's trending. The first thing I'm doing is being intentional about how I start my day. Be intentional about what I put into my mind, what I feed myself first thing in the morning, because I'm already fighting this battle, this emotional battle, and it's difficult. And so if you don't have some type of structure to help you stay grounded, you can get really lost. So I would advise you to really try to implement some type of structure in your life. Try to find workouts, meditation. It's hard for me to meditate. Like I really struggle with it. Like I've been practicing it because I feel like meditation does help you remove yourself from yourself, if that makes sense, right? It allows you to just clear your mind of all the thoughts that you have going on. Because when you're going through something that is difficult in your life, your mind is swirling with so many things that you need to do that you don't have, money you need for bills, everyone calling you because everything is due and everyone wants something from you and you don't have nothing to give them. And so meditation helps you try to calm all that and clear your mind. And so I have to practice it daily, very small, like small pieces of it, like maybe 5 minutes, because I have to figure out a way to just stop my mind from racing. But being able to put this in daily practice has really helped me figure out a way to clear my mind. And so I would advise you to implement something that you can stick to, right? Something that you're going to commit yourself to, because when you don't have that routine anymore, you need to commit to something. And committing to that morning routine really does help you. Committing to an evening routine, it does help you. It helps you get through your day and it really helps you with your mental health. And so lesson number 3 I found out too is that since I've been laid off is that you have to find joy where you can. You have to try and find joy where you can. During a crisis, any crisis in our life, it's so easy to just focus on the negative but trying to find small moments of joy can make a big difference. Whether it's enjoying a hobby, right? Taking a walk in nature or simply appreciating the little things. It can really help. These moments, I feel like, can help you maintain a positive outlook and it can really keep your spirits up. And so trying to find joy in certain things just really does help boost your spirits. I'm telling you right now, like I do this podcast because it brings me joy. And if I didn't have this podcast and experience this layoff, I'm going to tell you right now, like, I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd probably be in my bed crying every night, not wanting to get up, probably be really depressed. But this podcast give me something to look forward to because you know what? It's a part of my routine. I book guests on this show. I have them scheduled. So I have a schedule that I have to stick to, that I committed to when I say, okay, I'm going to interview you for this podcast. It's a schedule. And for me to get up and produce content, that is a schedule. That is my routine. But also I find so much joy in this. And so if I'm finding joy in it, then I'm like, I'm going to continue to do it. I'm going to continue to do it because it feeds me. You need something to feed you joy. And I know we have kids and we're like, oh, my kids are my joy. Listen, I'm not saying that they're not, but what is it that makes you truly happy? What is that little thing that just puts a smile on your face when you're going through your darkest times? When you're trying to figure out which way to go in life? When you're dealing with something that is so heavy and you sometimes like, I don't know how to see my way out of this, but you have to find something to help you keep going, something to help you get up. And finding those little moments of joy is so important. I'm going to tell you right now, joy could be that first sip of coffee in the morning. Because baby, there's nothing like that first sip of coffee in the morning. Coffee is my thing, right? I love a good cup of coffee in the morning. In the summers, I love good iced coffee. And so sometimes I take that first sip and it's just like, I can start my day. It's a little moment of joy. It doesn't have to be grand. Like I think sometimes we think about joy. We think joy has to be so grand, right? It doesn't have to be grand and lavish. It could be small. It could be simple. Some people, chocolate does that, right? The endorphins, right? Some people eat a piece of chocolate and it's just like, it's like heaven to them. Some people say it's like sex, better than sex. I'm not a chocolate kind of girl. I'm not a sweets kind of girl. I'm more of a salty girl. But what I'm saying is that it's that rush of enjoyment that they get from just savoring every bite of it. And that's what you have to find for yourself. And I really think that finding joy where you can, it's just what we should do, period, in our lives. Not just when we're going through something, but also just in our lives, period, because we're always going to face challenges in our life. And if we let the challenges overtake us and we don't find some type of joy, then what is it that we're doing? You know, a friend said to me the other day, because I said, wow, I've been out of work this year and it's coming up on a year that I've been out of work and I can't believe like I'm still dealing with this. It's been so difficult. At times I feel like I just want to cry and not understand like what is going on. Why haven't I got anything? Why haven't I found anything? And you know what she said to me that was so pivotal and so important is that she said, well, you got to look and see how God has kept you for this year. You still got your home. You got food in your house, your lights, your water, all your electricity's on. You got a car. You still have to see how he has kept you, regardless of what you don't have. Because like I said, remember, we tend to focus on just the negative about what we don't have, that we don't even see how much God has kept us and provided for us through our darkest moments. All because it's not like some grand type of blessing that you think you're supposed to have, when it's the small things that count. And I said to her, you know what? You are so right. I am blessed. I might not have a job. I might not have as much money coming in like I want to, right? But I'm blessed. I'm so blessed. Even in doing my hard time, I still have more than others. And we have to understand that sometimes, like your hard time might be more, it's still more than what maybe somebody else has. Somebody else is looking at your life and saying to themselves, God, I wish I had what she had. I wish I had what he had, whatever. So we have to understand that you have to find joyful moments. You have to find those moments of gratitude, those moments of appreciation, because if you only focus on the negative, you're going to stay in this negative, depressing state, and it's going to be so hard for you to climb out of it. So let's try to find those joyful moments, whatever they may be for you. You get to define what they are. Not society, not social media, just you. And now that leads me to the fourth lesson, which is don't let other people's opinion bother you. And I believe this is probably one of the most important lessons I've learned going through this layoff, or either just a hardship. Because when you're going through a tough time, everyone seems to have an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. Already, you got your own opinion of yourself, right? I'm already dealing with my own imposter syndrome, my own feelings, my own thoughts of myself, my doubts, my own negative stuff, my own criticism. You already got that going on for yourself. But then other people come in with their opinions. But at the end of the day, the only opinion that truly matters, is your own. What I realize and what I want you guys to realize if you're experiencing any crisis or loss, you have to trust yourself and you have to trust your decisions. And don't let others' judgments affect your self-worth. Don't let it do it. Don't let it do it. I mean, it's so easy to fall in to listen to someone who feels like, oh, well, you should do this and you should have did this differently, or you should have this saved and you should do that. You have to, when I tell you have to tune everybody out, you have to tune everybody out, because you can't live in the shoulda, coulda, wouldas anymore. Right now, I have to deal with the situation at hand. That's it. That's what you have to do. You have to shut people out, and you have to trust yourself. Trust your own decisions that you make for yourself. You're not a bad person. You're not an irresponsible person just because you got laid off, just because you lost a job. No, it's a lie. It's the lie we tell ourselves. Trust me, I know all about it, because I was telling myself that same thing. Like, oh, Sean, you're irresponsible. You didn't save enough, right? You didn't have enough. You didn't keep this job. You didn't do well enough to keep the job. I said all that stuff to myself. And what I realized, that it was all a lie. But it's so easy to be negative than it is to be positive. It's easy to say the negative stuff. We accept that negative stuff like it's like natural for us. All the negative things we think about ourselves, all the negative things we think about our situations, our lives, when we looking at other people's lives, thinking we're supposed to be there or supposed to be similar. We accept the negative things about ourselves versus trying to reinforce ourselves with some positivity, especially when you're going through a crisis, especially when you're at your darkest moments. That's when you have to feed yourself positivity the most. That's when your faith is tested the most. You have to find a way to push yourself out of that, and don't let nobody else's opinion affect you or your self-worth. You are worthy of every great and amazing thing that you deserve in this life. You are worthy of it. And this situation does not get to define who you are, and nobody else do too. You do. And we definitely need to remember that. And now the fifth lesson I learned, and it's important as well. I feel like all these lessons are important, but this is important, is to show yourself some grace. Show yourself some grace. You really have to, because you deserve to be happy, and you are worthy. No matter what unemployment status is, no matter what your unemployment status may be kind to yourself and acknowledge your efforts. It's okay to have bad days. Like, you're allowed to that. You're allowed to take your time and heal, because it's hard, and you're allowed to have bad days, and you're going to have good days, right? But you have to remember, you are doing the best you can. And at the end of the day, that's enough. That is enough. You don't have to try and be something that you just don't have the capacity to be at the moment. You don't have to try and do all those things that you did before. Show yourself some grace. Show yourself some grace. We don't have to beat ourselves up. It's okay to feel like, you know what, this morning, I'm just not in that mood. This morning, I just kind of want to be with myself. And I have those mornings. And honestly, I still have those mornings where I'm like, I need a moment to myself this morning before I get my day started, right? It's part of it. It's part of loss. And I don't care what nobody said. When you lose a job, I'm not talking about loss in terms of like death, when you lose a loved one or someone you really care about, but the loss of a job, we lose. It's not the job that we're grieving, right? And like I said, I love the job. It was great. I loved it. But it's the financial stability that came with the job is what we're truly grieving. We're grieving the fact that I had this income that came in and took care of me and my family, and now it's gone and I haven't been able to replace it. What am I going to do? That's the thing that we're grieving. That's that thing that puts us in that place of darkness, because we're trying to figure out how to make ends meet, right? We're trying to figure out how to make $1 out of 15 cents. That's what we're trying to figure out. So it's okay to experience the loss of this. It's okay to have moments of doubtfulness. That's what I'm telling you. Show yourself some grace. You're not going to be perfect every day. I don't get up being cheerful every day, right? I don't get up being, sad and depressed every day and full of anxiety every day either. But I show myself some grace. I allow myself to be whatever I feel I am that day. I allow myself to feel it. I don't hide it. I don't try to put it away and suppress it like, oh, I'll deal with it later. No, because that stuff comes back up later. I deal with my emotions right then and there. That's what I do. And I suggest that you do the same. So if you're going through a hard time right now in life, because life be lifing, as we like to say, and you're looking for ways to just push yourself out of it and become more encouraged, I advise you to just show yourself some grace. Because these are the 5 lessons that I learned when I experienced my layoff. And I want you to understand that, and we're going to go back through them real quick. I want you to understand that 1, your job doesn't define you. You have to learn how to protect your mental health. You have to find joy in the small things, and you have to ignore other people's opinion, and you have to show yourself some grace. These are essential for navigating the emotions of a job loss and any type of career transition. Because at the end of the day, this is what this is. Now, for me, I can tell you, for me, it's me transitioning into a new career now. Because if you can't find something in one thing, you have to now figure out a way to transition into something else. And I think that's where I am right now. I'm figuring out a way to transition into a new area, right? And it's not easy. It's scary. It's uncertain, but I'm confident enough to know that I can do it. And so as I bring this episode to a close, I really hope that these insights help you as much as they helped me. I really do. And I want to encourage you to listen to this episode over and over if you're going through something right now, and try to implement these lessons into your own daily routine, because it's important to do so. It's important to do so. And I really hope that this episode really gave you some value. And I hope it really does encourage you to stay on your journey and don't let nothing knock you off, because you deserve everything that is great in your life. So I want to thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.